Hey, good afternoon and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Pro Fridays, where we interview real estate industry pros, title pros, including title pros, homeowner insurance pros, real estate agents, home improvement guys. We're doing that all because we want you, Mr. Homebuyer, and you, Mrs. Homebuyer, to have an amazing home buying and home selling experience. And there's our mission statement right there on the screen for you to review. Hey, listen, before we get it, I have some awesome guests that are going to be on the show today. But before we do that, what I want you to do, you see over there, right there, you see that QR code. I want you to scan that QR code. Scan that QR code because we have some giveaways. Also, put on the screen if it help you see it better. Scan that QR code right now. The reason I want to scan that QR code because we have a home buyer readiness pack that we're going to give you along with some information that you're going to hear today from our guests. We're going to put that in the pack. The home buyer readiness pack is jam-packed with awesome giveaways such as a free appraisal, home warranty, a family budget that'll help you kind of start your wealth building plan. We have a credit report checklist. So you can look at your credit report and go through the checklist to make sure that your credit report is reporting exactly what it should report, all designed to help get you in line for your next or for your first home purchase. All right. So scan that QR code. What's going to happen when you scan that QR code is going to take you to this page right here. This page, you just scroll down and fill out that information. When you fill out that information, why do we need that? Because we need to know who you are. We want to know who you are because we have to send that home buyer readiness pack to you. It's electronic. We're going to email it to you, but we don't know where we should email it. So take your time, scan the QR code, come to this page, fill out your information, and you will get the home buyer readiness pack that we have put together for you. So without further ado, before that, I want to give you all of my social media. I'm going to get all that stuff out of the way first because you want to hear from the awesome guest that I have for you today. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram, that's my information right there. From Dream to Reality Live, IG, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then Facebook is My Senior Mortgage Advisor. You can put the @ sign in front of that in Google to take you right to our page. So without further ado, I'm going to clap it up first. We have none other than Mr. Michael Houston and Mrs. Tara Houston. They are the owners of or co-founders of Legacy Builder Global. Legacy Builders Global. So without further ado, let's clap it up and bring them on. Yay!
Hello. All right.
Awesome.
Good to be here.
How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. And happy Friday to you, Sean, and everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, doing great. What about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. All the heat doesn't bother me. Just stay hydrated, and you'll be fine to keep on moving for the day. So I love it. It's better than having liquid sunshine. Liquid sunshine is good, but I like the sun better.
Right.
More in the sun. So thank you so much for taking time to visit with us today and talk to our audience today. I am honored to have you on the show. Your reputation precedes you, so thank you so much for doing that. And everyone who's listening, I want you to take a moment and jot down this information because you're going to want to talk to these professionals once we're done. They're awesome, and you're about to hear from them right now. So I know we were kind of talking back before the show and just kind of getting the understanding what you guys do. Just tell a little bit about both of you. First of all, what made you choose real estate as your career?
Okay, well, great. I'll kick it off, and I'll kind of give the Cliff Note version. I have an interesting journey, but Sean, we appreciate you inviting us on the show and everything. And to everybody, thank you for tuning in. And so, my story actually started out with, kind of a, one of the hardest life events that I've ever dealt with, in my life. And it actually started with the passing of my mother. And I'll kind of give some insight into that and then why I'm so passionate about what we're doing and even alongside my wife together in real estate. I was 28 years old. It was 1998 when she passed, but she was diagnosed with cancer a few years earlier than that. But I did have an opportunity to watch my mother. She was a school teacher, but she was a real estate entrepreneur, investor.
Nice.
She had a portfolio of a couple of properties. And at the time, I really didn't know anything about real estate, not much. I knew we owned a home and she owned some properties. I would help do some administrative things and say, all right, go do this. I'd send this letter, so I would help out with some things. But what happened was, I finished up grad school. I was in corporate America. I was a serial entrepreneur, so I had some other interests. But I stayed. I was actually about to buy my first home, but when she was diagnosed with cancer, I stayed and just helped tend to her, in Alexandria in her home. And so when she passed away, what happened was after she passed away, I became an instant landlord. Instant landlord, but did not know much about real estate. Wow. So I needed help, so because not only with the property that she owned and living in, but the investment property. So I really had to seek out professionals to help on, okay, what do I do here? Legal things, the managing of the properties, etc. But she had a great agent. God bless his soul, Kervin Jones. He was out of Woodbridge, and he went on. He passed, but he was just excellent mentor. And so he kind of educated and helped me in terms of what to do. And so he was awesome. He was great. And so I started to get immersed in learning about real estate from an investing standpoint, from a landlord standpoint. And I started educating myself. And I remember going to a Borders Books. Not too many people going to Borders bookstore these days, but back then, bookstores were popular. And I saw this purple book. And I just picked it up in the business section. It was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah,
I read that, and it totally shifted my mindset in terms of building wealth, in terms of generating an income through business. And then he wrote a book, Cash Flow Quadrant, after that. And so as I started to learn more about real estate, I was like, wow, from an investing standpoint, this is pretty powerful. And then what we've experienced together. Later on, got a chance to get in professionally as a loan officer from a buddy of mine from high school who got into the business. Hey, look, man, you should get into doing loans. I'm in the shop over here by Alexandria, so I'd say, okay, why not? Check it out. Great way to finance some properties, pick up some more properties. And so, make a long story short, just transition. My wife will surely pick up and share her story. But after we got married, we both had interest in starting to invest in properties, and both of us ended up getting in it professionally together, and just and never look back. So
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, John, for having us. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go right ahead. I was going to ask you, but go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you for having us on your platform today. We certainly appreciate it, and appreciate what you're doing in the real estate community. But yeah, just real quick, my story is similar in that it's something in my blood. It's in my family. I come from a lineage of homeowners, real estate investors, starting with my grandfather who had to fight for property and land, and he did. And he ended up being a great real estate investor. And my parents, they always told me two things. They said, you will, do well, find a profession that's rewarding, and own your own home. So it wasn't an option to actually own a home. But as Michael said, it started off with one of the hardest things in his life, where he talked about his mother. For me, it was one of the hardest things, but the most rewarding, because I had small children.
Wow.
So having small children and being in a different profession, I was a school administrator, a school principal, acting principal, assistant principal. And I had two small children, and I wanted to be with my children. And we had started real estate investing, and we're doing quite well. So it offered me the option to walk away from a traditional job and spend time with my children. And at the time, I only had two small boys, but since then, we now have four.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I have to actually give credit to my wife for getting licensed in real estate, because I was, in lending. She was the licensed one. And then she was like, hey, why don't you come over to this side of the tracks and work with me? That's when the kind of industry bubble bursted, and our company, the loan company I was with, had folded, and I was kind of at a crossroads. And she encouraged me to get my license, which I'd already done previously. So I said, why not? We join our forces together on this side of the table as far as licensed agents, and having and it's been a wonderful ride and helping others build their legacies while we're able to do the same.
Awesome. What I take away from that is that you guys were destined, both of you were destined to be in real estate, destined to be in real estate, and to the point where you didn't have a choice to pick another industry. Your path was laid out, and you had to step into something that was already built for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's absolutely amazing, and we'll unfold a little bit more about that. And so, over the years, I understand you guys have developed some things that you feel are really really important for every homeowner, and I thank you for sharing that with us. I'm gonna bring that up on the screen now, and it talked about your top 10 home purchase items, and you have it here in a form of a checklist, right?
Right.
So, uh, which tells me that you got to touch all these bases before they go out the door or get connected with the lender, just kind of making sure that they understand the next step. So that's fantastic. So walk us through some of these that you feel are absolutely, if you had to pick a few of these and say that they cannot get out of my presence unless we talk about this and they understand this point, which one of these you think would be up there top 3 or 4?
Right. Great question. I would say, this is, has been part of our educational system for many, many years. And I would say really the first three are the most important. And the reason why, because the first three are the consultation phase. That's when, if you call us for the first time, or if it's somebody that we know, we're not going to just, get in the car and start, looking at properties or what have you. But it's important. We're big on education, and we believe that an informed and educated, buyer seller is going to be the best one, because they are making the decisions. We're not spending the money, they're spending their money. And so we want to make sure they're well educated and they have confidence in knowing that they're going to be able to complete this transaction, find the right home. So we really ask a lot of questions. We want to get to know, our clients, the people that we're going to be serving with. We want to get to know their needs, their desires, what they're looking for a home, why they're looking for a home, because this is going to be one of the largest investments that they'll ever make in their life. So that consultation, we go ask a lot of questions, we gather some information, and not only that, but we actually educate them on what the whole home buying process is going to look like from beginning to end, and allow them to ask questions. And so that sets the foundation for the rest of the steps until they get their keys.
Agree. No, I happen to agree. The consultation phase, and all of it is consultation. If you're working with that real estate professional and that lender who is the expert in the field, the expert in the business, just trusting them and following their advice and communication is really, really key. So if you look at the checklist, it's really set up so that it's a roadmap, so that the home buyer can see how we start and where we end up. But you see the last one is congratulations, let's move in. But the idea is to accept the consultation and actually appreciate the consultation. To me, that's the most critical out of all of these things.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. And I like what you put down here, building legacy. Where did that concept come from? Building legacy. I think it's amazing.
It really came from, as we both spoke about, we're products of legacies.
Yes.
I mean, he spoke about his mother. I spoke about, my grandfather and my parents, and I know your father is an investor as well, has been an investor. And so just understanding that it's who we are. It's what we're meant to be. And, we're supposed to do something, set something up for the next generation. A good man or woman leaves an inheritance for their children's children. Yes. So it is irresponsible to not think about the legacy.
So you build that concept in the minds of your clients, your home buyers. Within the consultation, you have that, you plant that seed of legacy in their mind.
Absolutely.
It's totally different. And I applaud you. I definitely applaud you guys for doing that, because so much. And you mentioned the bubble, the mortgage crisis bubble before, and that happened because it was a transaction to everybody who was involved that participated. in its downfall, it's a transaction. And so nowadays, especially with our younger people coming up, it, you know, having a conversation about legacy speaks to you as professionals caring about them and generations in their family after them that you may or may not even know or get a chance to meet, but you're influencing them. You're planting that seed for
Right.
generations to grow. So I applaud you guys for approaching it that way, because that's needed. That's needed,
Absolutely.
and I'm finding it a little bit more as I go through, because that's my heart's desire is to build around me relationships, and seek to understand what the goal is of the other person. So I definitely applaud you guys for that. And so let me ask you this. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff up here. And so in my mind, if I'm your client, I'm okay, I'm gonna pay attention to this. I'm gonna kind of walk through this, making sure I'm stepping through. Have you had an instance that you've had the home buyer consultation, you've gone through this, you planted the seed with legacy, but the client just for some reason um, chose to, even though they may have stayed with you, they chose to not kind of embrace all of that, and their transaction kind of mirrored that decision.
Hmm.
True,
Sure, yeah. We have there, of course, we always have our clients' best interests at heart, and so we're going to make sure that we, consult them based upon our expertise, our experience, our fiduciary responsibility as realtors. And so, whether it be an instance where we're talking about, a negotiation strategy or what have you, or talking about, preparing, for different terms in an offer. So we talk about that like in a consultation. So it's not about just, having the best offer price, but hey, let's look at the different terms that can help you have a highest probability of being able to win the offer, especially in the tight market. So
Yeah.
it may be meaning, minimizing closing costs, or making sure, working with the lender, like yourself, Sean, making sure that you look at your loan options, you get a great understanding of the various loan products, and what it's going to take as far as your down payment and closing costs, and how you can even structure that to give yourself a best chance of winning. There's been times where we give consultation, but the clients, for whatever reason, they think maybe they know more, or they're just bent on what they want to do, and so at least we can rest assured and be easy knowing that at least we gave them good information, qualified information based upon our expertise and our system that we know works, that gets a predictable, reliable, and consistent result of success. Having been in this industry a long time. But sometimes clients, they do their own thing, and then they later come back and say, you know what, you were right, or I should have done this. And sometimes there's been situations we've had to kind of let that kind of then travel that kind of course and then come back. So,
well, it goes back to the concept of informed consent.
yes.
Our role is to make sure that every decision they make, they have the informed consent. So that means they have all the information, but the final decision is theirs.
Yes.
And so we can sleep at night if we know we provided them with all the pros, cons, and information needed to make a decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. What made you guys choose EXP? Why did you land there?
Wow. Again, another interesting journey, just kind of like we weren't, necessarily seeking out a, real estate career, and we just kind of landed into it. We weren't seeking out EXP Realty, but, it's kind of brought to us, kind of, landed on us, so to speak. And so, again, just kind of quickly give you the cliff note of that. We were with a previous brokerage for a short period of time, who's actually, sponsored us, brought us into EXP Realty, a wonderful brokerage. Gentleman, I'll just say, Guy Allen, we have a lot of respect for him. He's a pillar. He's definitely a pillar, business pillar in our community, a legend in our community. And so
that's how we met Sean.
That's how we met you, by way of Guy. And so it's a funny story. So we were with him for probably at the time for about a couple of months. And I remember when we came on board, he had a great office. He took great care of us. We had plenty of business going on. And he said, you know what, I'm taking a look at this company
Mhm.
called EXP Realty. I'm thinking about, closing down my office and transitioning over. But I want to get the buy-in of my agents. And so we were one of about 15 to 20 agents. And we were like, it's who? We had never heard of the company. And so the company is probably at the time less than, 100, less than 115 agents. And it's over 83,000 now.
Wow.
Yes. And so, but we had so much respect for Guy, for his business wisdom, for his acumen, for what he's done in real estate. So we were open-minded, So somebody once told me, don't turn down something until you know what you're turning down. So, so we said, well, hey, we respect and we'll look at it. So he brought us into an office. The state broker at the time was talking about EXP Realty. And at the time, we were looking to scale our business, continue to grow it and do some things. And so we took a look at EXP Realty, and it was like, wow. We just kept saying, wow, in terms of the benefits. And they got to talking about, one aspect of it in terms of what really resonated with us to help us. At the time, we were like, we got to get positioned to not just continue to help our buyers and sellers, but in terms of our life position, with kids getting ready to go to college down the road, we had to start thinking about, life after real estate and building a legacy and things like that. And after about 30 minutes, that's when I was talking to you behind the scenes. I was like, we found out AOL. I found my AOL. I had a chance to work for AOL early on and get stock options and things like that. I turned it down to go work for another company. And I was like, wow, I missed that boat. I said, I'm not going to miss that boat again.
Nice.
So, long story short, we came on board. I told Guy, I said, I don't know if you're going, but we're going. He said, no, I'm going first. And so 11 years has been a fun ride, and it's really been a blessing.
Absolutely. Guy's tremendous. He was on the show a few months back as well. Definitely. I met him when I was at a different brokerage. And like you said, I just agree with everything you said about him. He's definitely a tremendous talent in the real estate industry. And so just want to segue in. So you obviously have a awesome platform for home buyers and track that you send them through to make sure that their home buying experience is fantastic. And so I understand you have a similar checklist, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen for home sellers. And so talk to us about your home seller process. Let me take this question off the screen. Talk to us about your home selling process. And I have a follow-up question once you kind of walk us through some of these tips here.
Okay, great. So it's very similar to our buyer checklist. We start out with a consultation, to ask questions to find out what your reason is for selling. If you need to, if you're currently, what you're going to do with your current existing property. You may have to, or as far as where you're going to move. Are you selling to buy another property in the local area or maybe out of town? So there's a lot of questions that we ask, and we have like a question checklist. So, because we have to first seek to understand before we are understood, before we can start giving advice and consultation, we really need to get to know what your scenario is and reason is for selling, so we can form a strategy. So it starts out with that. Then, of course, we certainly want to get a chance to preview the home, to kind of take a look at the home, talk about various ways that we can help best position your home to sell at its highest market value and get the return, get a great return on your investment. And then we talk about things like that, sit down and kind of go over some other pieces to the selling process and really kind of explain the whole selling process, just like we do the buying process.
Education. Still education, and the key is pricing it right the first time.
Right.
You only get the one time to make that good impression in the market. And so you want to take advantage of that time. Timing is everything. So the education, component is just as important as it is with buyers. So that sellers can really think about, okay, is now the time to pull the trigger and sell this at this price and so forth.
Absolutely. And then really quickly, in addition to that, we go over our marketing plan. We have a written marketing plan because, we're not listing agents, or we're called listing agents, but we're really marketing and selling agents. We need to have a plan for marketing and ultimately be able to sell the home, get it under contract, and get it sold. So we talk about, and that's really one of the most important aspects of our consultation is, hey, this is how we're going to market your home and get a great exposure. They get the home looking good. Hey, let us market it, and we all work together to secure a buyer and get it sold. So we talk about that as well.
Awesome. So you have here complete repair recommended repairs, and so are you finding that in this market? You find homes that are in disrepair. Part A. Part B is within your team there. You have licensed contractors and things of that nature that you can. That's a part of your whole your team to be able to help clients get through that process.
Absolutely. So, we, kind of want to be kind of a one-stop shop in terms of, we call it our power team, of those who, we trust and we can vouch for and put our name behind, whether it be in the HVC, HVAC, or electrical item, or, flooring, or, something that we're recommending that they do, that they're able, willing, and ready to do, that we feel would help improve their return on investment, on the sale. So we certainly, have that discussion as well.
So I've walked in, I've walked in many open house events over the years, and even in this market where homes are not staying on the market very long, it's been quite a few that I've seen where for some reason the seller chose not to up the ante on the curb appeal and touch up and beautify the inside. How are you handling home buyers who may not have the resource to be able to take care of the landscaping and take care of some, maybe it might need painting and things like that? How are you guys handling that to be able to help that buyer?
Well, price solves everything. So if you're unable to make those repairs and you just don't have the resource to do it, price solves everything. So you price it accordingly. But you may have walked into some in this recent hot market that it's slowing down slightly, but it's still, still a lot of buyers, still a lot of people ready, willing, and able to purchase. So I'm not sure if it's totally slowed down, but that's not the point. The point is that if it's a market that can sustain that, where you don't have to make repairs and you don't have to have the cover and people are still going to buy it, then go for it. It depends on the market. There's a market for every house. So if it can still sell, then go for it. And you'll know by looking at the comps, the days on market, the time on market, all of that. However, if you just don't have the resources, you have to price it accordingly.
Exactly. Awesome. Outstanding. So speaking of market, you mentioned market. What are you seeing? What kind of conditions are you seeing where you guys are in your space? Hold on a second. Yeah. In your space there. What are you seeing? Because I know there's a national conversation about what's going on, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going on in our market here. And it's hard for people to differentiate what's really going on in the market where they are versus what the national conversation is saying.
Absolutely. And that's a very good point. Definitely, for those that are listening, that, real estate is micro. It's not macro. And so it's what's going on in your local market. And what we're seeing, here in the DC metropolitan area, we serve Northern Virginia, Maryland, and DC. It's still a robust market, although interest rates have, crept up a little bit over the past month or so. Regardless of what you may be hearing on the news, it's not, it with the low inventories and with, just the strong, population, the number of people that are still in the market, looking to, buy homes. If you think about it, when there were 10, 15, 20 offers on a home back when the rates were lower, let's say there were 20 offers on the home, I mean, 19 people lost out. So a lot of those people are still in the market trying to find homes. And we're seeing it as a result of, like many agents in our agent group are still, having buyers buy homes, sellers selling homes. And we are seeing a shift in more open houses, more broker opens, agents having to do a little bit more, putting a little bit more elbow grease into their, work to get the home sold. But it's a healthier market. It's starting to become a more balanced market. But I would say in terms of the inventory, inventory is still lower than a traditional balanced market. And so, for buyers, we don't want you to think that you can now start asking for everything, and only have it your way. It's not that kind of market, but you may still have a little more leverage in terms of getting some more concessions.
I did see a home listed was advertising closing costs.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen that in at least 2 years.
Right.
Like,
so, yeah, I was like, run that by me again. So things are starting to shift, but I agree with you that people who missed out on the other market, this is their big opportunity.
Yes.
So it's a great market.
I appreciate that. So talk to that real quick. That home buyer, because I'm part of a really huge Facebook group. It's probably almost 400,000 buyers, home buyers, prospective buyers. And the conversation in that group is that, a lot of people are wanting to, wait it out. And so you mentioned interest rates. So the Feds did plan to raise interest rates to the end of the year. They just surprised us with a 75 basis point jump in June. And so talk to that home buyer and that home seller who might be waiting to get in, waiting to start the home buying process because of what they're hearing on the news, or waiting to list their property. What messaging you have for them?
That's a great question. In the conversation we have consistently since we've been in the business, even when I was a lender and now an agent, my wife an agent, is that if you're in a position to buy, if you're ready, willing, and able to buy, now it's always a good time to buy, as opposed to trying to time the market. What the rates are now, I gotta understand my perspective. I remember when rates were in 7, 8, 9%, double figures. So if you look at the history, you can speak to this definitely being a lender. It's still historically, some of the lowest rate times that we've had, in real estate. So, but I think people recently a little spoiled, if they've seen sub 3% and now it's a little bit higher. But at the end of the day, if you qualify, for a loan, and if you're desiring to buy, over time, home ownership is still one of the best things in my professional opinion, even in my personal opinion, that you could, to acquire. So it's always a good time. It's always the right time to buy if you are in position to, desire to buy a home.
Agreed. I don't have anything to ask.
And that seller should go ahead and put their house on the market so we can help them upgrade or downgrade, right?
Yeah, if there's a need. There's depending, and every person's scenario is different. Depending on depending on why they're selling. If they have to sell, if they want to sell because they need more elbow room, the family's getting bigger or what have you, or job relocation, what have you. So a lot of people have to sell because they have to sell, for life events. Some people have to sell because they want to sell to buy a new home. But if the scenario fits right for you, so it's all it's really kind of from an individual perspective. So there's been times where, we've shared with clients, from whatever their needs were and the market conditions or their goals, we say, maybe you may want to think about, sitting tight or what have you, depending on what the scenario was, so.
But I'll say in the market we are coming out of, there were some tough conversations we had to have with some buyers. We just tell some buyers, you know what, you may not be positioned to purchase in this. You just can't. You don't have what it takes to play in this market. But I find we're not having to have those conversations right now because it's a good market for them.
Absolutely. I think that's awesome counsel, right? Times past, both sides of our table have been people wanting to push folks into the market because it creates another transaction, but it takes a very astute, a very established professional to be able to give the counsel whether it ends up being ending or the end result is a transaction today or not, still giving that unbiased, uninfluenced counsel so that the buyer or the home seller can make that educated decision, I think it's tremendous. And it speaks volumes to your character. So I really appreciate you for bringing that out and letting us know. And so, speaking of character and heart and motivation, I understand that you guys have just taken things to the next level and you've gotten to a place where now you teach.
Mhm.
Awesome. Talk to us about that. You have a real estate school, I understand. What made you start that?
I'm gonna defer to my wife on this
Well,
one here.
we,
Yeah.
just being very excited about what we do. We used to, when we first started as realtors, we focused on real estate investors.
Yes.
And we used to have a real estate investor coaching program.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, so that was just basically an educational thing that we were doing. We would bring on these students and help them become real estate investors. Fast forward now, a couple of them are agents on our team, getting their license to become agents on our team. So it's just been rewarding through the years. But when I was the broker, I was the broker for EXP Realty for DC, the principal broker for DC and Maryland, and the compliance broker from Virginia. I found myself, that was years ago, that's almost old news, but it is. But I found myself training and teaching so much that one of the local associations, I forget which one, attended something that I was doing and said, you really should be teaching for the association. So fast forward, I started doing that. Then I also had partnered up with Mr. Guy Allen because he had tapped me on the shoulder to teach pre-licensing classes. And so I started doing that. And then keep fast forwarding. We said, we're teaching for all these other entities. We always believe in building our own legacy instead of building someone else's legacy. What's that saying? You're either leveraging or being leveraged.
That's right.
So we said, you know what?
Right.
It's time for us to leverage ourselves and use and open our own school. So the idea is to help those who are aspiring or those who are in the real estate industry as real estate professionals to build their legacy with a career in real estate. And so that's where we are.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely tremendous. Awesome. And so I appreciate you providing us with this top 7 benefits of a career in real estate. And so you shared some of these benefits in your own story. But walk us through, why should I, knowing nothing about real estate other than I see the buildings when I'm driving down the road, why should I give you a call and consider a career in real estate?
That's a great question. A lot of people just kind of, fall into this industry kind of like we did, but yeah, we're seeing more and more people actually seeking out a career in real estate. For one, if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you desire to, have more ownership of your time, more ownership and freedom in your finances. Most of us, we have to design our life around our work. This opportunity for you to design your work around your life. Right. And get more control and be able to do something fun and that's impacting others and helping others build their legacy the same way you do. If you love helping people, if you love consulting people, even as an educator, and you want to find a profitable way of being able to do that. Real estate, I tell you, is really, in my opinion, an industry where you can be the CEO of your own business and life. It's low barriers to entry, but with a high return on time and investment. And it's and it takes work. It's no different than if you were going to be an attorney or a dentist or doctor. I tell brand new agents or people come to the industry, you do need to take it seriously and run it like a business, because you are actually kind of the quarterback, in a transaction, helping people buy or sell. One of the largest financial transactions that they'll ever own in their life or purchase is a home. So it's that serious, but it can provide a very lucrative, lifestyle, for your time and even finances. So,
I like the control over my time piece.
Right.
I find it so invigorating being a mother of 4 sons who are very active, very busy, knowing that no matter what they're doing, for the most part, I mean, nothing's perfect, but for the most part, I can be there to be their number one cheerleader, to attend. I've attended almost every single field trip our oldest son went to. And he told me this. Our oldest son goes off to college in the fall, and we have no regrets because we were there.
Right.
I went on every field trip he had in elementary school. I was one of the chaperones. I've been at, most of his games, unless one of the other boys were doing something. So it gives you all that freedom over your time. It helps us to leverage ourselves the way we want to be leveraged. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. All right, where do I sign up?
We can help you with that. So.
Where do I sign up? So the website, everyone, is down at the bottom. The ticker tape is coming up next. www.houstonconsultinggroup.com, and it'll take you right to the school. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pull up a web page really quick. Pull it up myself here, see if I can show everyone. And while I'm doing that, talk to us about. You probably already you did already answer this, but I want to ask you directly.
Sure.
What would you guys say has been the thing or things that have made you successful?
Wow, a number of things. One, first of all, we thank God for our relationship that we have with Him. He's the foundation of everything.
Awesome.
As far as leading and guiding us, not just in our personal lives and our marriage, how we parent, but even in our business. We thank God for our church. Remember Harvest Life Church. We thank God for our church. And so really, instilling, principles in us, and just really, the lessons that we learn, the teaching that we get is just really, it really kind of transcends into everything that we do.
Well, it talks about how it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to raise a successful engineer and entrepreneur. I say engineer.
Right.
I don't know where that came from. Maybe that's next. But a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
And so with that, taking a village, our church and those people we surround ourselves with are our village. Our industry professional partners, our agent partners, our mentors.
That's right.
Like we talked about Guy Allen and different people who have helped us to be who we're supposed to be in this business.
Absolutely.
So so that's our website. And then if you go to the real estate school link, that's where you'll see information about the classes. It's at the top.
Right here?
Both of those. We have the online school and we have the face-to-face classes.
Awesome. All right, so everyone out there who's watching this, either live or it's you're watching the rebroadcast, and you're interested in real estate, and you don't know where to start, I want to encourage you to go to this website, browse the website, and give them a call. Call them, have a conversation, fill out this form, have a conversation. There's the phone number at the bottom. You want to give Mike and Tara Houston a call and talk about your interest in real estate, and they're going to help you walk through the process and educate you so you can start off right. And as my pastor says, you start right, you stay right, and you can end right, right?
That's right.
That's
right. Absolutely.
So absolutely. And so, like you said, it takes a village. And so they have a team of folks there that can help you walk through the process. So absolutely, I appreciate that. So you answered this question already. And if you have anything to add to that, if not, I'll go to the next one. You talk about how it's important to that. And so how are you serving in your community, in your market? I know you're doing the real estate thing. Anything else, or have served in the past? Anything's coming to mind that you'd like to share?
Okay, absolutely. Both of us, my wife and I, are very active in our church. Here in Prince William County, Harvest Life Church. We thank God for even our senior pastors, Bishop Dukes, Pastor Deborah, just amazing pastors.
Yes.
So we enjoy doing that, just making an impact in the community through our church. Also, we serve in various other organizations. We're a member of the Prince William Chamber of Commerce. We serve in there. I serve on the board of directors with the Prince William Chamber of Commerce. So we definitely have a heart for supporting businesses and helping the various businesses in the community that we're connected to and that we get a chance to meet, help them build their legacies, in ways that we can through our service. And even
I serve on the Superintendent's Advisory Council for Prince William County and our Principal's Advisory Council. So still, keeping my foot, in the door of the school and a seat at the table, not just for our kids, obviously, to be honest, that was the real motive, but I feel that I can help all children and be a voice for all parents.
Outstanding. Clap it up. Great job. So as we get ready to close, I appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. And so as we close out, just want to ask you, what fun fact do you don't mind sharing about either both of you or each of you? You don't mind sharing with our audience?
Yeah. Well, one fact about us, and actually is our entire family, we love this. We are a roller coaster family.
Really?
Yes. Even still at this age, I know. Yeah.
I need to introduce you to my family because I'm the only roller coaster guy in my family.
Oh man. Well, you come with us. You're gonna definitely get on with us. But no, we love tackling some of the most ferocious roller coasters out there. Matter of fact, we got a chance over the past couple of weeks here to get out and two theme parks and some of the newest roller coasters that took a little more of my hair off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a family bucket list to ride the most ferocious roller coasters in North America. Yeah.
I thought I was the only one.
Man, yeah, and some of these, as we're going up the thing, I'm telling my boys and my wife now, why did I get on this? Why did I get on this?
Where's the pause button?
Yeah. But it's always so fun. Once you get off, you're like, I conquered it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And we have 4 boys, so we take up like half the roller coaster every time. we all get on at the same time, and it's a lot of fun. So that's a little fun fact about us. So.
Man, we got to get together, man, because I have we have 5 kids, three boys and 2 girls.
Oh wow!
And so I'm the only one that loves roller coasters, but I'm gonna introduce them to you guys. And so hopefully we will you can influence them to come on over to see the fun.
Right.
Yeah.
We have lots of fun, but the roller coaster is not one of them right now.
Yeah. Understand.
That is fantastic. So as we close, any closing thoughts, any closing comments that you want to make to the audience today?
Well, we just appreciate you, Sean, for having this platform and for educating all of us. Those of us who are aspiring buyers, sellers, and those of us who are aspiring real estate entrepreneurs. We appreciate all that you do and your expertise in the real estate realm.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo that. Just we got to give a shout out to our Legacy Builders Global Agent Partners all around the country. We serve all around the country in the DMV. So really all over, even if you have some, friends, family, and other markets, we can surely help, find a great agent, who kind of, operates on the similar philosophies as we do, that's very thorough, that can surely assist you with your real estate needs. But we have great, we love our agent partners. I tell you, they're really making an impact, and blessing people in the community in terms of building legacies through home ownership. So
outstanding. So everyone, you heard it first here, maybe not first, but you heard thoroughly that Michael and Tara Houston, they care about you. Right? They care about you, and they put some things in place so that you can have an amazing home buying experience, an amazing home selling experience. So I want to encourage you to do something right now, is to pick up the phone and dial 703-623-9629 or 571-212-4898. You want to call one of those numbers. One is direct to the real estate side. The other one's direct to the real estate school. If you want to be a real estate agent, give them a call. So thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Houston, for being on the show. It was an amazing time for me. And I would
Yes.
love to be able to, if we're able to get together and I can support what you're doing from an educational standpoint, I would love to be able to do that.
That would be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. With Sean, we appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun,
Thank you.
and just getting a chance to share with the community, what we do, and you're doing great things as well. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. So with that, I'll give you guys the rest of your day, and you have an amazing day, an amazing weekend.